is a term coined in the late 1960s to describe an emerging school of thought in economics. For many decades before that, indeed in some sense for a few centuries before that, there had been what was known as the quantity theory of money. The quantity theory claimed that the price level depended upon the amount of money. If too much money was created, then the price level would rise, and in the extreme there might be inflation or even hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is when prices are rising by 50% a month or even more, if you can imagine that. The ideas of monetarism stemmed ultimately from the quantity theory. They were opposed to a theory that had started in the 1930s, John Maynard Keynes with his general theory. Keynes was concerned to determine the quantity of output and then the quantity of employment. What monetarism did was to say that, in fact, the quantity of money is relevant to all these macroeconomic variables. It's relevant to demand, output, rates of interest, employment, as well as the price level. And a school of thought developed at the University of Chicago in America, but actually with roots back to Cambridge, roots back to many other universities. They had great influence in the 1970s in the recommendation of control of the quantity of money to defeat inflation. And in practice, over the 1970s, 1980s, monetary growth was reduced in their main countries, and the great inflation, as it was called, of the 1970s gave way to the great moderation, much better macroeconomic outcomes, with lower inflation, more stable growth of output, steadier employment in the 1990s and up to the Great Recession of 2007 and 2008.